Today we're jumping into the world of Robertson Glass. He's an artist who didn't just make cool stuff. He fundamentally reshaped a whole scene.
A functional glass art.
Yeah, and our guide for this is this really fascinating document we found called Robertson Glass, From Animation to Iconic ZooTubes.
Yeah.
It lays out his whole journey, his vision, his impact. So our mission today, we want to unpack how this guy mixed artistic talent, some serious business smarts, and a real knack for building community. How did he go from sketching cartoons to being this culture keeper in this super vibrant art world? Get ready for some real insights into artistic shifts and how markets can totally change. Okay, let's get into it. So, Robertson Glass, when we start digging into his story, the beginning is maybe not what you'd expect for someone known for working with fire and glass. He was born in Canada, right? And his first plan, his real aim, was animation, drawing characters, telling stories that way.
Yeah, exactly. He was heading down that path, pencil and paper. It kind of makes sense now, looking back at his glasswork, right? The characters, the expressions. But then there's this pivot. A huge one.
Right, the Sheridan College part of the story.
That's it. He's there for animation, but then he finds their hotshop, the glass-blowing studio. And it wasn't just like a class he took. The sources, it basically just flipped a switch for him instantly.
Really? That quick?
Yeah, it sounds like it. He walks in, sees the torches, the molten glass, and boom. He basically drops the animation dream right there, picks up glass rods instead. So by the time he graduates, this is 2007, his focus is completely on flame work, a total redirect.
Wow. It's amazing how one experience, one room even, can just change everything. It feels like that animation skill, that ability to capture personality was just waiting for the right medium. The glass was it. Okay, so let's jump forward. He graduates 2007, full of ideas, new skills in flame working. But the timing, not exactly ideal.
Right. Oh, definitely not. 2007, 2008, that's the start of the big global recession. So imagine being a fresh art school grad, especially in something like glass, which, needs equipment, materials. It's not cheap.
Yeah, must have felt like hitting a wall straight out of the gate.
Absolutely. And that context, that economic pressure, it really explains his next big move, which was pretty bold. Instead of maybe playing it safe, sticking with soft glass, which was maybe more common then.
He did the opposite.
Totally. He ditched soft glass, packed up, and moved to Eugene, Oregon, and dove straight into borosilicate glass, Boro.
Okay, why Eugene? Why Boro?
Well, Eugene was already kind of an artistic hotspot, but crucially, Oregon was buzzing about cannabis legalization. It wasn't official yet, but the conversation was serious. So he saw this convergence, this sort of perfect storm brewing, an opportunity to really blend function and art in a new way for a potentially huge new audience. He was thinking ahead.
And that's where his signature style really clicks into place, right? Those amazing animal pieces.
Exactly. He starts crafting these matte finish caricatures, the famous ZooTubes.
Giraffes, cows, zebras, I think walruses too.
Yep, all those. And the key thing, as the source points out, is they weren't just pipes, they were personalities. Each one captured in a sort of comic moment. Like you weren't just buying a tool, you were getting a character, a little sculpture.
That matte finish is so interesting, though, because wasn't everyone else doing super shiny glass back then?
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
That was the standard aesthetic, especially in Boro. High gloss, super polished, almost like lab equipment. Artists were really pushing for that perfect, clear sheen.
And Robertson just didn't.
He deliberately stayed flat, as the source puts it. That matte texture became his thing, his fingerprint. You could spot his work instantly in a display case full of glossy stuff. It was genius, really.
So it wasn't just style, it was strategy.
Absolutely. That mix of safari humor, the animal patterns, and his sculptor's eye, all combined with that unique flat finish. It carved out his niche, made him stand out, made people look closer, appreciate the form and the feel, not just the shine.
It seems like a bold move, that matte finish. Did people get it right away, or was there some resistance?
Well, initially, some people, maybe more traditional glass folks, might have seen it as, less technically perfect, like he couldn't get the high polish.
Right, like it was unfinished.
Maybe, but that's exactly why it worked. It broke the mold. It said, hey, art doesn't have to be shiny to be amazing. It felt more organic, maybe closer to ceramic or something, and it fit perfectly with those fun, cartoony animal shapes, almost like bringing his animation background back, but in texture.
And the market responded.
Big time. That unique style, that sculptural comedy, it really took off. His work started popping up in major galleries, influential shops.
Places like 11-8, Smoke ATX, Millennium Gallery are mentioned. These aren't small players.
No, definitely not. These were places setting trends. Getting his work in there was huge validation. It helped push functional glass into being seen as serious collectible art.
And the prices reflected that seriousness too, right?
Oh, yeah. The source mentions pieces going for anywhere from $600 up to $3,500.
Wow. For things like the walrus rigs, ZooTubes, giraffe pendants.
Exactly. That's collector money, not just casual buys. Especially impressive considering this was still during that tough economic period. His stuff wasn't just surviving, it was thriving.
Okay, so he's got this incredibly distinct, popular style. But then it gets even more interesting because he starts working with other artists too.
Yeah, this is a really cool aspect. He wasn't just doing his own thing in a bubble, he was collaborating.
Yeah.
And his style, that unique matte animal look, it meshed surprisingly well with other top artists. Legends, really.
Like Coop?
Names like Glass, JLZ, Krunkelstein, even artists connected to Mothership.
Mothership. That's like top-tier, super high-end glass, right?
Exactly. Known for intense precision, innovation. The fact that his style worked alongside theirs, or that those collaborations happened, says a lot about the respect he'd earned for his craft and his vision.
Is there a specific example mentioned?
Yeah, they talk about a piece called Rainbow Vine. The description says it pushed the zoo into fresh territory. So it wasn't just slapping his animals onto someone else's work. It was a real blend, an evolution. He could flex, try new things with others, but you still knew it was Robertson. His voice didn't get lost.
That really shows incredible artistic confidence, but also like a real openness to working with others, not getting drowned out, but enhancing each other.
Precisely. It speaks volumes about how unique and adaptable his artistic identity was.
But his influence wasn't just about the glass objects themselves, was it? The source talks about him being a culture builder. What does that mean in this context?
It means he was actively shaping the community, not just participating in it. A big part of that was his podcast, the Robertson Stash podcast.
Right, I saw that mentioned.
Yeah, and this wasn't just him rambling. He was having these long, in-depth conversations with huge figures in the glass world. Think Banjo, Nick O'Cray, Jay Kelly, Band of Ballers, major names.
So what was the point of the podcast?
I was kind of doing two things at once. It was creating this amazing oral history of glass art, straight from the artists shaping it, archiving their stories, their techniques, but it was also like mentorship, sharing that knowledge, that history with the next generation of artists. It was about preserving the soul of the craft, you know?
That's really significant. But he wasn't just looking backward, preserving history. He was also looking forward, right? Adapting to new tech.
Totally. He wasn't precious about sticking only to traditional pipes or rigs. His approach was device agnostic.
Device agnostic, meaning?
Meaning when new stuff came out, like the Puffco Proxy, that popular electronic rig, he didn't see it as competition. He saw it as a new surface to work on.
So he started making pieces for the Proxy.
Exactly. Sculpting tops for them, basically turning these modern e-rigs into canvases for his animals. It proved his art could evolve right alongside the technology. His giraffes and walruses could live on these new devices too. It kept him relevant, expanded his reach.
And that adaptability, that smart thinking, it carried over into how he managed the business side too. He wasn't just relying on galleries.
No, he got really innovative there. The source calls it the auction era. He started moving towards direct-to-collector auctions.
Cutting out the middleman, basically.
Pretty much, or at least creating another channel. Plus, he launched things like zookeeper memberships, building this loyal, direct fan base, and doing private zoo drops, which creates buzz and exclusivity.
That sounds like a really modern approach.
It totally is. The source literally calls it a blueprint for glass artists running their own economies. He took control, built his own community, his own market, directly with the people who loved his work most. That's incredibly empowering for an artist.
Okay, so we've traced this incredible path, from animation hopeful to glass pioneer, from navigating a recession to innovating in art, tech, and business. When you pull it all together, what's the lasting impact? What does Robertson Glass really represent?
I think fundamentally, he showed how you can take something unexpected, like safari animals and humor, and turn it into serious, collectible, functional art. And then, crucially, he didn't just keep that success to himself. He used his platform, like with the podcast, to lift up the whole community.
So those three pillars the source mentions, matte, animal, humor, they were more than just style choices.
Oh, much more. They were almost strategic disruptions. The matte finish went against the grain. The animals made functional art feel accessible, fun, less intimidating perhaps. The humor connected instantly. It was this combination that didn't just define his work, it actually changed what collectors were looking for. He reshaped the market by creating something utterly unique and desirable. He set a new benchmark.
It really is an amazing story. Robertson Glass's journey. It's about art, sure, but also about vision, about adapting, about community. He took an unlikely path, created this signature style that broke the rules, collaborated widely, and built this whole ecosystem around his work. That matte animal humor thing, it wasn't just a brand, it really did change the game for artists and collectors. So think about this. Robertson Glass took his unique vision, adapted smartly, engaged his community, and ended up redefining a whole genre, creating new ways for artists to succeed. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What passions or niche interests do you have? Where could you maybe blend creativity with some smart thinking, maybe even build a community? We saw how one person's unique path changed an industry. What possibilities might be out there in your world, waiting for that unexpected pivot? Worth thinking about.